So this is my 2013 Toyota Sequoia. The last time I was out underneath the hood of my vehicle, I was installing the EcoFlow 800 watt alternator charger. I will be replacing that with the Blue Eddy and then taking this particular one and placing it in my son's vehicle. But in the meantime, I'm out here for a different reason today. Number one, I'm going to be changing out my headlights, and I want to give you a better look at the headlights right now. Now the 2013, the second gen headlights, they really are problematic headlights. You can see all of the haze on the headlight. Now these headlights also have a flaw, and they should have done a recall on them. They allow condensation in the headlights, and I noticed it a few years back, and I just didn't bother with it because I knew at some point I would be changing them out. But the light output became so bad at night that I said I'm gonna get to them. But I've been under the weather lately for the past 3 weeks, in and out of the hospital, and I'm feeling a lot better today. And I said, you know what, I got some shade, I'm gonna go out here and I'm going to do this. Now I've seen a few videos on YouTube, but it's so much music and loud blasting in the background, you really can't get a sense of what's going on. You can see it, but you can't see it. But I've changed so many headlights out in my life that I don't need a video to tell me that. I just wanted to see what the new headlights that I'm replacing this with look like on particular vehicles similar to this. So we're going to get a little closer, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm going to be doing. These are 10mm bolts. So I'm going to be removing this one and this one. And there's one behind this panel here. So there's 3 total. And then you have these 2 plastic clips. You don't want to break these, hopefully. And once you remove this, you can start on this lower panel, and there's 2 plastic clips that clip into this side fender, and you don't want to break those. So they're going to be spaced about right here and right here. So you want to go in between here and use a prying sort of motion to pull this away. And if they've never been pulled away, it may be a little difficult. And for some reason, if you end up breaking this panel, you can pick this up at your local Toyota dealership. Now this is a headlight washer, and obviously we're going to be keeping that. There are 3 screws on the bottom. So once you remove the headlight, you're going to have to remove those 3 screws from the entire mechanism. And once you do that, you'll be able to remove this panel. So let's go ahead and get started by removing the 2 bolts here and the 2 clips here, and then we'll get on to the next part. Before I get started, you can use a Phillip, or you can use your mechanical ratcheting set. It's going to take a 10mm, and so let's get started. Make sure you put your bolts somewhere safe. I'm going to use the crevices of my engine cover here and place those bolts. And now we're going to go ahead and get started with these 2 clips. Now before I pry this off, I don't want to damage the paint. So I'm just going to take some painter's tape and put it over the area that I'm going to be using to pry everything off. That should work. Okay. Those two clips that I told you about, they're right here. And see the distance? So you want to go in between here and sort of pry out without damaging the paint. Now, I'm going to move this over a little bit and show you that third 10 millimeter bolt. The third 10 millimeter bolt is right here. We're going to go ahead and remove that. There we are. Please take notice of the difference. You have a threaded, pointed threaded, and this is rounded. So the third 10 millimeter bolt goes here, and there's a twin of these that go on top. So notice the difference. The top has a Phillips screw head, the third doesn't. I'm going to go ahead and take out all of the light inserts, and you're simply going to twist from your location. It will be to the right. So once you remove all of your clips, you have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Once you removed everything, then you can go ahead and have better access to the bottom here where the headlight assembly washer goes. Now, if you look closely at your headlight assembly on the bottom where the washer goes, the headlight washer, you notice that there's 3 Phillips. You're simply going to remove those. Doesn't take a lot of pressure to remove them. And whatever you do, don't lose them. We've got 1. Some people will think that this is an intimidating job, but it's really not. You do everything in reverse when it comes to installing your plug and play lights, okay? So let me go ahead and get that screw out of there. I'm going to place those temporarily in my back pocket. You'll notice that the entire headlight assembly now, you can just go ahead and put that down like that and hang it down. Now we have the entire assembly out. So let's go over and look at the new assembly. Now, just for those for reference, these are the 07 to 13 Toyota Tundra, 08 to 18 Sequoia heads, ASM, Amber, DRL, and this is your left-hand side, okay, from Morimoto. These gonna cost and run you about $1,300 plus applicable tax. And I'm not sure if I paid shipping or not, but let's go ahead and open this up and install it. So one of the first things you want to make sure you do is reinstall the headlight washer assembly to the base of your headlight assembly. And you're going to use those same 3 screws that we removed a little bit earlier. And it's simple. Just simply take your headlight assembly, your new one, and utilize the box, the tall box, and put it up against your bumper. It really makes a difference. And then flip your headlight assembly where you can see the bottom of it, as you see here. And you'll notice right away, you can take the 3 holes and line them up right there. It's 1, 2, 3. Just line them up, and you're going to go ahead and install. So let's go ahead and do that. And keep your plastic on. You don't want to ruin your plastic, your headlight assembly by scratching it up, okay? So I'm going to put the first bolt in, and I'm not going to tighten these down. I'm just going to get them in there so that I can hold the washer assembly to the base of the headlight assembly. That's number 2. And number 3 is going to be on the opposing side. I'm going to switch sides so I can get a better angle. Want to line that up also, making sure that it's lined up. Let me get this lined up and I'll come right back. Now, when you look at this tangled mess, 1, 2, 3, 4, you're going to need to remove your bulb assembly so that you only have the housing left, because your housing is going to mate up with the housings on the back of your headlight assembly. So let's start here first. Looks like a squeeze and pull. First one out. The same over here. Looks like a squeeze and pull. Squeeze and pull. Squeeze and pull. So that all of the bulbs are out. Now, don't be intimidated. You can't get this wrong. It's simply a plug and play. So if you folks could see, there's a fuel box, okay, that is present right here. I am going to take this out. A lot of times you need a flat head in order to get up in that little clip there. These are always tricky, but they do come out. So I'm going to just simply place this right here. There's nothing to lose. Now, I want you to pay very close attention to this compartment, okay? I'm going to come in a little closer so you can get a better idea. Now, the fuse you're looking for is this 10 ml right here. And if you compare this to your diagram on the bottom, it'll tell you it's the ignition, okay? And this is exactly what you want. You want that 10 ml, that 10 ignition. So if you look closely here, you'll see that it's right here and it says ignition, okay? And you're going to remove that fuse and you're going to place it into the new wiring harness that they sent you. So let me grab that really, really quick. Now here's that wiring harness right here. You get a little direction here, get a little grease, and you get your wiring harness, okay? We're going to just place this to the side temporarily for right now. And on the end of your wiring harness, you'll notice that you have these ends here. So here is your fuse end, okay? And it already comes with 2 fuses. That's unusual. The old videos show that it only has 1 fuse that they send you, but they sent you 2 here. So we're simply going to remove the 10. Sometimes you can do it with your hand. Other times you can use the puller that comes factory with your vehicle. I've removed it, and I'm simply going to press this in that exact same spot. And it's now pressed in, as you can see. And you can take your wiring harness and you can route it. You can notch out a little notch here if need be. You can root it right here on top. And just go ahead and take your time and root it, because you're going to have to connect to the other side too. And remember, you have 2 of these little plug-ins here. The closest one is going to plug into that empty black plug that we saw earlier on the back of the headlight. And this one here is going to travel all the way. And I like to take this one and run it along the back of my radiator support underneath, and then run it on through there. Okay, so let's get that done. Let me put my fuse puller back in there. I'm not going to cover this back up just yet, and I'll take this fuse and place it where my other spare fuses are, because I got one missing here, of course. Oops, a little crooked. There we go. And let's go ahead and plug this in. And we're going to take the headlight assembly out really quick. And if you folks remember this little plug here, you're going to reach in here, grab this little plug here. You're simply going to plug it in. There we go. That's it. All right. Go ahead and put everything back. Reassemble it. It's quite simple. And one of the things that I want to remind you folks of is, when you reassemble, again, keep the plastic on. Keep the plastic on, okay? So let me get up in here and we can reassemble this, all right? Okay, let's go. And we're simply going to take our time. Remember, you just paid a lot of money for these headlights, and the last thing you want to do is ruin something. You don't want to do that, okay? You don't want to do that. Before I do that, I want to take this entire harness. So here's how I routed mine. The second wire came around inside of this hole here, went inside of here. I reached my hand in here and pulled it all the way over, come out of this hole right here. I'll have more length once I install the actual assembly. But then it'll plug right into this one. Well, folks, here's what the driver's side headlight looks like. It's flush. Everything went in, plug and play. And I apologize. I'm going to have to add the other video to this. But for right now, I just kinked my back, and I just came from being under the weather and hospitalized 3 times over the past 4 weeks. So I'm going to put the other side in later, and I'm going to go in here and heal my back. But I want to show you the difference. Now, there's a lot of sun out, but you can see the difference between the old and the new. And I'll do more videos once I get everything installed. Thanks for watching. Well, the other section will be added to this video. So now that I was able to install both headlights, I'm going to remove the protection for my bumper here. I always use a microfiber cloth and use painter's tape to put on the bottom so that the headlight or anything doesn't scratch the bumper. It's a good practice. and you can see both headlights are in. I want to show you the sequence of these headlights. Now these are the Morimotos, and these are the top of the line. Cost me about 1,300 bucks. And I replaced a 2013 Toyota Sequoia headlights, which wasn't LED. And so we're going to go ahead and close this down. You can see how flush they look. They look really, really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and get in here and utilize my keys. I'm not going to turn it on because I already know they work. I'm going to lock my vehicle. Unlock. Alrighty, thank you for watching, and I hope this serves as a pretty good piece of direction for those who want to install the Morimoto's top of the line. And I know the video is long, but that's just what it is.